Ohio's earliest peoples. Can you picture Ohio without any people in it at all? The first people to settle in the land that later became Ohio did not arrive until the end of the last ice age. About what? How many years ago? 12,000 years ago. They lived mostly in caves or tents made from tree bark or hides. They used stone tipped spears to hunt huge, now extinct animals. They gathered blackberries and hickory nuts. They wore clothing made of animal skin lined with fur. Their story is the beginning of human history of what is now Ohio. About 15,000 years ago, early people in Ohio lived in villages like this one. Take a look at that, right? That's incredible, man, right? 15,000 years ago. Does your imagination run wild when you look at that? Because mine does. All right, so the first settlers. In chapter 2, you read how glaciers grew and shrank during the last ice age. Sometimes so much water was frozen into glaciers that the ocean levels dropped. In some places, land bridges or land connecting two larger land areas appeared, right? About 25,000 years ago, the glaciers began to melt once again. As they did, people from Asia began to migrate or move from one place to another to North America. Most archaeologists believe that these people were hunters from Asia who crossed a land bridge called Beringia into North America. An archaeologist is a scientist who studies the way people live in the past. So you got to pay attention. That definition is not going to come right after that highlighted word. It came down here, didn't it? Right? The other archaeologists believe that people migrated to North America traveling by boat. They may have sailed along the Pacific Ocean, north coast, or along glaciers between northern Europe and the northern part of North America. Many Native Americans or American Indians believe that they never migrated to this land, but were always in North America. Meadowcroft Rock Shelter. The first people to settle in Ohio country arrived around 15,000 years ago. Entering the Great Lakes area from Canada, we know this because stone tools were discovered at the Meadow Rock or Croft Rock Shelter in western Pennsylvania. A number of the objects found at Meadowcroft are made from Ohio flint. Flint is a stone that was carved into arrowheads for hunting and used to start fires. Flint is what early settlers needed to survive, right? So it says, according to archaeologists, how did the first Americans arrive in North America? Remember, we just talked about that, right? And you'll answer that right here. All right. Hunter gatherers. The first people to migrate to North America were probably hunter gatherers. They were tracking herds of hairy elephants called mammoths and the larger mastodons. These hunters discovered many strange animals in their new land, like saber-toothed cats and giant beavers. When the Ice Age ended around 10,000 years ago, the climate began to grow warmer. Mammoths and other large Ice Age animals did not survive. This was partly because the warmer weather changed the environment. Early people in Ohio country. Archaeologists call the first people in Ohio country Paleo Indians. They hunted with spears made of sharpened wood or bone. They often used an atlatl or a hook-shaped stick that launched the spears into the air at faster speeds. Paleo Indians moved from place to place, living in tents made from animal hides or skins or tree bark. They also used animal skins for clothing. And around 11,500 years ago, Paleo Indians began to use flint to make tools and stone points. Soon, these hunters had axes and tools for grinding seeds and nuts into meal. As the climate became warmer, people built huts and began to store food. Now they did not have to hunt for food every day. The Ohio country had entered what archaeologists call the Archaic period. Archaic means old. Early farmers. When Earth began to get warmer, plants had longer seasons to grow. As ice and snow melted, the water filled lakes, ponds, and wetlands where new plants and animals could live. Around 10,000 years ago, some people learned to farm. They planted corn, beans, and squash. People now had a steady source of food and built villages near their fields. They dried food to store it for the winter or in case of a bad harvest. So take a look. Here's a giant beaver and a saber-toothed cat that lived in North America. Look at the giant beaver. They don't look like they're happy to see each other. All right. Exchanging goods. Exchanging goods. By studying artifacts, archaeologists can learn a lot about how ancient people like Paleo Indians lived. An artifact is an object made or used by people who lived in the past. Artifacts tell us that the archaic people learned to trade about 10,000 years ago. Trade means to buy or sell goods, or to exchange goods with other people to get things you want but do not have. Early people in what is today Ohio made necklace, beads, and other items from copper. However, copper isn't found in Ohio. They probably traded food or furs to get this shiny metal from people around Lake Superior or to the north. We know this because archaeologists have found copper beads in the graves of archaic people. They have also found other trade objects that are not found in Ohio, right? Like seashells. Says, wow, how were Paleo Indians and archaic people different? And remember, you'll click that link. So what we've learned so far, the first people to live in Ohio arrived around 15,000 years ago. Early people in Ohio were mainly hunters and gatherers. They used stone tools and farmed to survive. We've got our focus questions that you can answer here and those two links there. All right. So there you have it. That is our chapter, Ohio's Earliest People. Now you guys can go and work in groups, and you can reference this to read along with me if you need to. Today.